Hello, I'm doing another deck profile today. Today I'm doing an Infernoid deck. Infernoids are cards that they can't be normal summoned, but you have to remove other Infernoid cards you have from play in order to special summon the Infernoids. They have a few rules. You need to... The total levels of and ranks of all effect monsters you have on the field can't be more than 8 in order to summon one. But there are a few tricks to getting around that. So let's begin. Run 3 Infernoid Antra. By the way, if I'm not pronouncing the Infernoid names correctly, I apologize. They're difficult to pronounce. Anyway, Antra. The level 2 of the Infernoids. His effect is you can return an opponent's card to the hand once per turn. 2000 defense, so best to play him in defense mode. Up next I have 3 Infernoid Harmatic. Level 3 of the Infernoids. His effect is once per turn you can target one monster on the field and destroy it, but he can't attack that turn. Also, he has a second effect. Most of the Infernoids have this second effect, by the way. Once per turn, during your opponent's turn, you contribute a monster, then target one card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. Like I said, most of the Infernoids have this effect. I also run 3 Infernoid Patrulia, the level 4 of the Infernoids. This guy, once per turn, he can destroy one spell or trap card on the field. Now, get to the level 7 of the Infernoids, Infernoid Seatsamus. This guy's really good. If this guy attacks a monster, at the end of the battle phase, you can banish one card on the field. Pretty much you can attack, destroy a monster, then after the battle phase, you can pop another one of their monsters and banish it. So 2 for the price of 1, basically. I also run 3 Infernoid Atondel, the level 8 of the Infernoids. This guy's also pretty sweet. If this guy destroys a monster by battle, it can make a second attack that turn. So once again, you can destroy 2 of your opponent's monsters with this guy. I run 2 Infernoid Onaku, or Anuku. Again, I'm having trouble pronouncing these names. The level 10 of the Infernoids. This guy's freaking awesome. He's kind of like Judgment Dragon. His effect, when he's summoned, you destroy all other monsters on the field. Also, once per turn, you contribute one monster to negate a spell or trap card that's activated and banish it. 3000 attack. This guy can take down your opponent's life points real fast. I also run 1 Infernoid Sedget, level 6 of the Infernoids. His effect, when he declares an attack, you can banish one monster from your opponent's extra deck, but your opponent chooses which monster that is. I prefer him over the level 5 one. I forget the level 5 one's name, because this guy has more attack. But I only run 1 of him. And I run one Infernoid Pyrmaeus, the level 1 of the Infernoids. His effect is you can return one set card on the field to the deck. And in addition, the card that you're targeting with this effect can't be activated in response to this effect, so that's pretty good. That's it for the Infernoid monsters. Now I use a few Lightsworn monsters in this deck. Use Lumina, Lightsworn Summoner, Lila, Lightsworn Sorceress, and 2 Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworns, the tuner of the Lightsworns. Lumina, you can discard a card and target a level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, special summon it. This is great to work with Raiden, so you can easily get out a Synchro summon. Also, the Lightsworn monsters help you get cards in your graveyard, which you want with the Infernoid deck. You can summon them from your graveyard. Lila, this card is great for popping your opponent's back row. And of course, Raiden, because he's a tuner. And there are some pretty good synchro summons you can use with this deck. Okay, that's it for the monsters. On to the spell cards. I run a Monster Gate and 3 Reasoning. These cards are key for this deck. They are what make the whole thing good. All the Reasoning and Monster Gate, basically you mill from your deck until you get a monster that can be normal summoned, and then you special summon it. But that's not the important part. The important part is the milling, because you want to get the Infernoids in your graveyard, and there's no better way to do it than with these cards. Basically, if you open with one of these, you're pretty much good to win. I run 2 Void Seer. This spell card is protection for Infernoids. Its effect, target 1 Infernoid monster you control. The target is unaffected by opponent's card effects this turn. And this card also has an effect while it's in the graveyard. If an Infernoid monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead of destroying one of those monsters. This card's great for the Infernoids because with all the milling you're doing, a lot of cards will end up in your graveyard, so since these things can activate in your graveyard, they work really great. I run 3 Mystical Space Typhoon because you gotta have power to pop your opponent's back row. 1 Regeki and 2 Dark Holes. Destroy your opponent's monsters on the field and then attack them directly. Since it's easy to summon Infernoids in this deck with high attack, it's a great way to quickly get rid of your opponent's life points. I run 1 Charge of the Light Brigade to help get cards in your graveyard, and 1 Burial from the Different Dimension to get Infernoids you've removed from play back into your graveyard so you can banish them again to summon more Infernoids, because you want to have all the Infernoids you can get to banish to summon more Infernoids. On to traps. I run 2 Breakthrough Skill. Just like the Void Seer, this thing has an effect that it can activate in your graveyard, which works really great with this deck because they're most likely going to wind up in your graveyard. Its first effect, target 1 face-up effect monster your opponent controls, negate the effects of that opponent's face-up monster till the end of this turn, and then during your turn, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it to, again, negate one of your opponent's effects. And of course, one Needlebug Nest for more mill power. Okay, now on to the extra deck. Run Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth, and Scrap Archfiend, because these guys have no effects. Remember when I said earlier that the Infernoids can't be special summoned if the total levels and ranks of effect monsters you have on the field are more than 8? Since these guys don't have effects, they don't count. So you can get these guys out on the field and with your Infernoids, so you'll get a whole lot more firepower. Also run other level 7 monsters like Black Rose Dragon, Michael the Arc Lightsworn, Ancient Sacred Wyvern. I run a Crimson Blader because Quillforts are a threat to this deck, and this guy is really good against Quillforts. This guy prevents your opponent from normal summoning and special summoning level 5 or higher attack monsters, which, if you know Quillforts, they're all pretty much above level 5. And of course, Star Eater, because it's Star Eater. It's awesome. Now on to Xyz monsters. Gem Knight Pearl, because it also doesn't have an effect, like I said for the Scrap Archfiend and Gaia Knight Force of Earth. Help you summon more Infernoids with this guy on the field and give you more firepower. Few other level 4, rank 4 Xyz monsters like number 101 Silent Honor Evil Swarm Extinction Knight, Utopia, for example. Run Mecha Phantom Beast Dragosack and number 11 Big Eye, because, well, it's obvious they're awesome. One Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, because he's awesome. He comes really good and handy when you want to negate your opponent's effects. Like if your opponent has something you can't get around. And last but certainly not least, I run number 15 Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. I've burned my opponents to death with this guy. If you don't know his effect, up to twice per turn during your main phase 1, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And then if it was an Xyz monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of that monster. Like I said, I have burned my opponents and won the duel with this guy. He is just that awesome. So that's my Infernoid deck. I hope it was helpful to you. Subscribe if you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles in the future.